Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to a Saturday night live stream. How's everyone doing? Que pasa? Good evening. I figured what better time to do a live stream than Saturday night. Andy's in the house. Welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm sure you guys have nothing better to do on a Saturday than watch me test Xerjoff fragrances for the first time, who I know is everyone's favorite brand. You know, I've gotten some heat from just random people that found some of my Xerjoff bashing, and I think I've offended some people. I think some folks are not too happy with what I've been saying about Xerjoff. Well, they can suck one. I don't really care if they like what I have to say about it or not. But it has interested me a little bit that I've ruffled some feathers. Some people have not really liked the bashing of Xerjoff. I guess they're just so used to hearing great things about him. So my hopes are not high, but I always do have an open mind. And thanks for waiting on me. Sorry I'm late. 6, 7, 8 minutes late. Well, I guess the show can't start without me. So what's happening? Ram Dizzle. Gonna tear it up indeed. Gonna douse myself in some Xerjoffs and then go run tonight. Mike's wearing Roja PDV 56. Which one's that, Mike? Is that the one that I tested? Let's see. Number 56. That is not the one that I tested. No, I tested a different one. I tested number 47. I tested number 47. The rumor mill says that number 56 smells like Roja's 51 Pour Homme. I do have a video of that up on the channel. Have you tried that, Mike V? Have you tried Roja's 51 Pour Homme in the Eau de Parfum or the Pure Parfum? I was not very kind to Xerjoff in my last previous videos. I can't really think of very many that I really liked, actually, now that I'm really trying to look back on the ones that I did. So let's see. And we've tested, actually, we've done a lot of Xerjoff testing, and it's really, and you know what? I do the same thing with food, interestingly enough. Here's a little personal insight about me. If I get like a bunch of stuff on my plate, and there's one thing I don't like, I eat it all first. Like I just get it out of the way. You know what I mean? Like if there's something on there and I'm not a fan of it, I'll just knock it out. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing with these Xerjoffs. Even though I have all these samples to test, I'm like, let's just get the Xerjoffs out of the damn way. You know what I mean? Crazy. Scent of the day, Bortnikov Oud Monarch. Okay, so I have a clarification. I'm not going to tell you where I have this source of information, but needless to say, let's say I have a reliable source of information that says that these fragrances, even though Parfumo shows them as discontinued, that Dmitry Bortnikov does have some intentions to then release them again at some point. He's just in a place right now where he just can't. He can't just continue the cycle of keeping the fragrances up to date for whatever reason. You know, maybe at some point it will come out, but he does plan on it. You know, whether it's 6 months, a year in the future, I have no clue. But at some point, the plan is to release them again. You know, so just FYI, even though they are officially discontinued because they're not on the website at this moment, they could pop back up in a couple months, in a year or two. I don't know what the timetable is, but his plan is to get them back up and running, just FYI. So I figured I'd pass that information along. Let's go, Abe. Thanks for being here, brother. I watched your second video too, and it was good. It was good. Your Dessandra's first impressions. Abe has a channel, by the way. Go subscribe to Abe's channel. Check him out. He seems like he's pretty comfortable in front of a camera. Some people just aren't, you know. He seems like he can really sit there and just kind of let his thoughts flow without either getting too excited or tongue-tied. Or good evening from Lakeland, Florida, Kevin. How are you, man? Hope the weather's nice for you there. You know, it was in the 40s today here in Texas. So we were like in the 80s a week ago. Now we're in the 40s, and this is classic schizophrenic Texas weather. It's just, you know, usually around this time, yeah, it's 46 out there right now. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 70s. So yeah, it was 40s all day. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 70s, and we've got 80 degrees on Tuesday. So yeah, Texas is just, you know, if you don't like the weather, wait a day kind of thing. Excellent choice indeed. Yes, that's right. I had to make some firings today. Had to bring in some new talent. Good evening from Serbia, Dusan. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Hello, Paroli. I wore and actually did a video, and I would urge you guys to watch it. I understand that these individual reviews don't get as much love, but I wore this, which was sent to me today by a very kind perfume god person. I know the camera. So here's the thing with the whole camera back and forth, because some people have said, hey, the camera on your reviews is better than the live stream camera. I've been using a different camera for live streaming versus the reviews. The reviews, I'm just using my phone. But if I use the phone, okay, if I use the phone for the live stream, the sound will occasionally kind of cut in and out. And there's no way to hook up this microphone, which is like a USB microphone, to my phone without getting like an adapter, which I don't have right now. So I am just kind of switching back and forth. I know the video quality of these streams isn't as good, but at least you guys can hear me, and, you know, seeing that it says Tabac on the little label isn't as big of a deal. I don't think so, but I can go back to that if you guys would prefer. It's just that it'll be a smaller picture, and the sound is going to periodically sound like I'm in outer space on the moon. Amouage Reflection 45. Nice. Have not smelled that one yet, Dushan. The moon. Nice. I need to wear that soon. Annette Neufer Melis. Anyways, never smelled that, Nick. I wore this Tabac today, which is from a brand called La Via. What is it? It is La Via del Profumo, I believe it's how it's pronounced. La Via del Profumo. And it's done by a guy whose name was originally, his name was Dominique Dubrana, but he changed his name to Abdesalam Attar. And it's an interesting little house to discover. They have, I've been impressed with this. It's all natural perfumery. And it's good. It's good stuff. So I've been putting off these initial impressions, whatever you want to call them, because I've had this kind of a cold thing that kind of took over, and I wanted to give my nose a chance to get back in the swing of things. And while it's not 100%, I do feel it's good enough that I can at least still make some respectable first impressions. Maybe not at the top of my game, but good enough. What's up, sniffers? Yeah, I just had some pizza, veggie pizza, but it's what we had. Sometimes you got to make do. What's up, Michael John? What have you guys been wearing? What are you up to? So I hope that news will be good news to some folks who have been wanting to grab Oud Monarch, Oud Maximus, Musk Habib, you know, before they're all gone. And hopefully there will be more stock at some point in the future. I'm offended by Xerjoff. Yes, that's right. Oh, 1:37 in the morning. And you chose me. We'll see. If we don't see Nick for a while, we know where he went. Hey, old boy. What's up, man? Expect you to not like these because of the price. Is the price horrible on them? I mean, I know Xerjoffs are expensive, but so we have a couple from the what do they call it? Join the Club collection, More Than Words and 400. And then we've got a couple from the Casomarati collection, 1888, and one from the Shooting Stars collection, Uden Overdose. So we're just all over the place today. I think the ones I'm most excited about without ever sniffing them, yeah, the Join the Club ones. That's some stuff that I have heard that's really hyped, the Join the Club collection. Excuse me. Sorry to clear my schnoz on the microphone. Scent of the day, Abbey Rouge, hell of a scent. Oh, God. I put it number 1 on my top 60 1960s this year in perfume video that I did. I just could not, even though I love Azure with a passion. You guys know it's one of my favorite leather chypres of all time. I just couldn't put it over Abbey Rouge. Abbey Rouge is just, I mean, it might be one of the best masculine fragrances of all time, in my opinion, in the Ram's opinion. Ebony Fume. I don't think I've had a chance to smell that, but I haven't heard good things about it, Michael. Is it close to Gucci Pour Homme 1? Is it close to this one? I hear it's very close to Gucci Pour Homme 1. The Michel Almarac masterpiece that gets thrown around all the time, trying to be recreated like 3 or 4 different times. If it's anything like this, they probably have a winner. But I heard they were trying to do something like this, but modern Tom Fordery fucked it up. Scented the Day Mega Mare. I don't think I've smelled that 206. Hello, Sandy Ravage. Welcome, man. Tobacco Mandarin. How's that, Daniel? That's one Byredo I've actually wanted to sniff. I have some samples of a couple of them. I've got Balde Freak and stuff like that I'll do a video on. What's up, Ram? I'm going to join in on the fun. 40 knots. Oh, you're wearing 40 knots. Maybe we'll start there then, Galen. 40 knots. Here we go. You said something, by the way, that's been rattling around in my little noggin, and I haven't been able to get it out since you said it. It's almost like you infected me with this thought, Galen. You said, I've been wearing fragrances. I just haven't been doing videos because I don't feel like I have anything to say. And I'm sitting here like, damn, I wonder if I also don't have anything to say. And I'm just over here just, you know, and no one really cares, you know. Galen infected me with nihilism. He infected me with the nihilist bug. I'm thinking maybe I'm just over here just pissing in the wind. No one really cares what the Ram has to say after all. Hey, Geffy, welcome, man. Welcome, welcome. Good evening, GMG. Good evening. I love seeing you guys here, man. I miss doing these live streams when my nose was out of commission. Finally received Aramis Devon from Enchante, and I love it. I do smell the resemblance with Dessandra's, which I do prefer. Yes. Okay. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you like the connection between the two. I think they're both amazing green galbanum, masculine takes on green galbanum perfume for sure. Yeah, that's so good to hear, man. Those vintage bottles Amouage has are in pristine condition, primo stuff. Lapidus Pour Homme came in, Ramsey, 2022 modern bottle. Opening is rough. It's a strip club bathroom an hour after buffet ends. Oh, I have to tell you though, Sandy Ravage, I have them both, and I love them both. Okay, so this is the modern with this built-in sprayer, and the vintage is actually a splash. You can see the difference there. Very hard to find vintage bottles of this, and I don't really know why, to be honest with you. I don't know why vintage bottles of this are so rare to kind of come across. This actually, the true vintage, this is kind of a in-between vintage, if you will. It's in between the modern and the true vintage, because the true vintage, this was metal. So if you ever find one where this piece right here is actually not plastic, it's metal. See how this is plastic? If you find one that's metal, you got a real deep vintage, probably late 80s bottle. Oh, I love these type of fragrances though, man. But that's just me. As the subscriber base grows, I'm finding that some people kind of clash with my taste. You know, when they try something like that, they're like, holy shit, Ram, you like that? I'm like, I love it. I love the pissy opening of Hugo Boss #1 and that and Koros. And I mean, those are my love fragrances. 80s Derby, last 30 ml bottle left. Looking for an eagle, but prices are steep. They are steep. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You'll probably pay $600-700. Is it worth it? Who knows? I mean, price is all subjective. I don't usually get into price because, you know, everyone's salary is different and everyone's financial situation is different. But yes, it's going to cost you. You're going to pay a pretty penny for it. Dry down is great though. Spicy woody incense with honey. Man, I love that honey. I love everything about it. You know, there's pineapple in this crazy thing. Aventus Eat Your Heart Out, right? Lapidus Pour Homme is so much in here. There's everything. There's tobacco in here. Oh, God, I love it. Man, those are my heart fragrances. What came of the rumor that Guerlain would re-release Derby? I don't know. I just heard it for the very first time on that Eugene top 10 leathers he did with Rich Mitch. That was the first time I've heard of that rumor. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. So yes, and who knows what it'll be like, what the quality will be like. I have no idea. Yeah, I actually have a decant of the Thierry Vasser version that comes in the bottle with the square wood around the outside, and I'll do a comparison video soon. I should have done one a long time ago. It's just one of those things that got pushed back and back and back. But I will tell you that it's a very good take, and I've said this before, but I think that, you know, Thierry Vasser kind of amped the carnation up. Like, he used carnation in a way that was really brilliant, because I think it just kind of hid, you know, some of the changes that Derby had to go through because of, you know, reformulation issues. But it's a very well done reformulation. Like, if I had that bottle with the square little thing around the outside, the wood, I would not, you know, lose 1 ounce of sleep over having that versus the original. It's really good. Jubilation 25, man, a beauty. Yes. Good to see you, Al. I'm glad to see you wearing those masculine Amouages. That's good stuff. Bertrand Duchefort is a little of a master, no matter what he does. If you like his work, you could do what I did and start going down the rabbit hole of, like, looking into the work of the same perfumer. So, like, you know that he did Timbuktu for L'Artisan. So if you've never smelled Timbuktu, this is what I would urge you to get. Go try to find a bottle that looks like this of Timbuktu. And it's the same perfumer that did Jubilation 25 for men. And you'll be able to see the connection. If you love it, go get yourself a bottle of Dia Man. And again, it's the same perfumer. And you will see that these are all kind of around a similar, like, time in Bertrand Duchefort's creative process, his creative life. And you'll be able to kind of, you can really almost see the links. Like, it's kind of cool when you hunt down perfumes by perfumer instead of brands. You can almost kind of see the links, you know, how he plays with certain notes here and there and how they all come together. And so, yes, I think you would dig some of these. Timbuktu and Dia Man, if you haven't smelled that one. I would if it's good. That's it. Love Reflection 45. Yeah, I still haven't smelled that one. Love Juby. That's it. Amouage also included 2 minis of Givenchy Monsieur EDT and Caron pour Homme. I have not smelled Givenchy's Monsieur. I kind of have an idea of the type of fragrance it's supposed to be like. I know it's supposed to be in that same Chanel pour Monsieur, YSL pour Homme kind of category. Never tried 51 pour Homme, but PDV 56 in my top 3 all time. Like, not just Rochas or PDVs, but all time, you mean. Is that what you mean, Mike? Because that's a bold statement, sire. Hey, Alan, what's happening, man? Scent of the day, Ristanama by Renier. I never smelled that. Keep talking, bro. Galen infected me with nihilism. Just feel like I need to say this. Givenchy Gentleman EDT, greater than Antaeus, greater than Koros. You know what? I would not put any shade on that. I mean, Givenchy Gentleman EDT is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I mean, just because I think Antaeus is slightly more geared towards my taste at this moment, tomorrow, I could say that Givenchy Gentleman's my favorite. I mean, these two right here, I'll tell you this. I will just tell you this, and they live right next to each other. I don't know if you can see, but they actually live, they're brothers, they're neighbors. Givenchy Gentleman EDT with the little wrap, the silver wrap, and Luciano Pavarotti. These two, I feel like this, which came out in 1994, took huge notes from this. And then Moss Brechts, which came out in 2007, I believe, one of the very original Tom Ford Private Blends. I think that Moss Breches, which all I have is this very precious decant. And I feel like Moss Breches then took notes from both fragrances, and so it's like a continuation. But if you like any of these, you'll like the other two. Is anyone intrigued by the new Luton's tobacco? Yes, I am intrigued. I have so many Serge Luton to get to know because of that 17 bottle dump that just kind of fell into my lap that I probably won't rush out and buy it, but I'd love to smell it. I actually wore Naxos today. Yep, gonna sell it. Sickly Sweet turns my stomach. That opening, man. Oof. I was expecting, some people were like, man, no, the lavender really kind of tones it down and makes it more easy to wear. And all I get is Sickly Sweet. You know, I think actually Thierry Mugler's Pure Havana is much better done. Even though it's still sweet, I like that. I guess I just like that Amen DNA so much, the way they use the patchouli and stuff, that, you know, it the sweetness there doesn't bother me like it does in Naxos. Pure Havana on steroids. I just don't think it's even as good. Give me Wimpy Pure Havana then. Hey, Staffs, what's happening, man? Ah, good stuff. We're happy. We are happy to have you, Phyllis. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm rusty. I'm off my game. Let's get some damn perfume on my skin, shall we? Let's get this. Let's get Galen's 40 knots on. He's wearing this. You're actually wearing this as your scent of the day, willingly. Well, all right. Let's see what we got here. So we'll go left wrist, 40 knots. I don't know anything about these, by the way. Zero. So since I know nothing about it, let's spray it. Let's see what we get. Let's see what kind of weird concoction Xerjoff is going to throw at us today. Oh, this shitty-ass sprayer. This is all Scott's fault, by the way, if these go bad. These are his little samples from Deutschland. Essenza Nobile. I can tell you it's sickly sweet right off of the bat, but not as disgustingly sweet as Naxos. I get a little bit more rose in this. Is there rose in 40 knots? There has to be a rose. That's a huge rose. Dark, wet, dripping rose. It's just that Xerjoff sweetness, man. I wish they just toned it down a bit. You know what I mean? Just like for once been like, you know what? We're going to make like a upstanding, like, you know, proper, respectful fragrance and just take that sweetness away. I don't hate that though. It just seems like kind of a weird take on like a gourmand rose. Is there a note? Do they list the notes on these? Or is this the collection where they actually don't list the notes? Let's see. Let's see what good old base notes have to say. Xerjoff. Try that again. Xerjoff. Base notes is taking its sweet time. Okay, here we go. 40 knots. 40 knots. It's going to be Join the Club, isn't it? Join the Club. 40 knots. 2012. Wow, this came out 11 years ago. I was not expecting that. I thought this was like a new collection that they did. Sea Breeze. Sea Breeze. Saltwater, Woods, and Armagnac honey. Man, this smells like a huge gourmand rose to me. I guess I can kind of see the Sea Breeze thing now that they implanted it in my head. Let's see what good old Xerjoff's website has to say, shall we? Xerjoff.com, the Xerjoff universe. Confirm the region you live in, United States. Okay, confirm. Let me in. $40 knots. There is a 50 and 100 mil. 50 mils 180, 100 mils 290. The Join the Club collection of Xerjoff perfumes represents a series of exclusive scents from art and poetry to yachting and golf. In keeping with the rare nature of these scents, ingredients are kept a closely guarded secret. Instead of inviting the wearer to immerse themselves in the imagined world, be transported to the luxurious yachting lifestyle on the mesmerizing Mediterranean Sea with 40 knots. Colorful marine life, the glistening rays of sun, and the taste of freedom that comes from the open water is bottled in this highly unique Xerjoff. Highly unique, huh? I don't know about this one. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't think I would see the connection just willingly to the sea. They would really have to kind of, push me in that direction, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm feeling Gaylor's nihilistic feel is like rubbed off on me. I don't have much to say about this one other than that sickly sweet kind of Xerjoff like molecules I feel like are invading my nose right now. You know what I mean? I definitely don't get like the kind of posh like sunlight glistening off the water like Ombre Supreme from Les Indemodables. The link between Chypre Palatin and the first Atis de Venustus are undeniable, both well worth owning. I've never smelled an Atis de Venustus, actually, Galen. I know that's a brand you really love. And yeah, I've noticed that there's definitely some interesting links between his past fragrances. Like if you have smelled Dzongkha, you'll kind of get an idea because there's a peony note in here. And there's also a peony note in Dia Man. And these are like the two, I can't really think of a peony note done for that I really know of off the top of my head, except for these two. And they're both Bertrand Duchefort, and they both kind of share this link with the way that they develop. They're both very unique. And yeah, so his work is, you can really kind of see the links connecting what he was thinking and doing and working on between the brands. He's an amazing perfumer to, Allie knows Dia Man, good. PDV number 1 and 56 are simply lovely. Nice. I'm looking for that vintage L'Artisan Atis de Venustus. Nice. Have Dusita Caventina, but looking for something else. I've never smelled that one. CK Obsession for Men. Got this from my dad, not vintage, a 7-year-old bottle from 2016. Does it say Coty on the bottom? Like if you flip it over, Dre Fudan, does it say Coty? If you guys really want to go all out with Calvin Klein Obsession for Men, there's a version. It's a little hard to find, but it actually says cologne spray right here. So the bottom says Calvin Klein Cosmetics. You can't see, but it does say Calvin Klein Cosmetics. And I actually have a bottle of Calvin Klein Cosmetics CK1 for Men that I got from Amouage, no less. And this one actually says Eau de Toilette right here. And so this one says cologne spray. And this is the original. This is thanks to my buddy Armando. He hooked me up with this, and man, I am in love. Like, I thought this was good, and this is good. This is way better than the Coty version, but this is on another level. Like when Eugene tells that story about wearing Calvin Klein obsession for men in the back seat when he was like in high school and making out with some girl and feeling like, you know, there was like another body in between them there. This is the one that kind of comes to mind. When I wear this, it feels like there is, you know, somebody else with us. I mean, it is one of the best. I put it very high on my synthetic musk video that I did. I mean, I don't think it's going to compete with the Ensars and the Bortnikovs and the Aries Ladores that are using real musk, but for a, you know, mass company like Calvin Klein, this is and it's 80s through and through. It's so 80s. And if you love this DNA, like if you spray this and you're like, my God, this is like heaven on earth, I need more stuff like this, hunt down these old Lagerfelds. Lagerfeld did one called KL for women. This is stunning, a stunning amber in that 80s, you know, style, animalic 80s style. Oh, it's so good. Very few people talk about these anymore. They really deserve much more love. Any of the Lagerfelds from the 70s and 80s kind of fall into that. You could go for the masculine ones. Like this is KL Homme, the masculine version of KL. Or you could go for Lagerfeld Cologne, or now Lagerfeld Classic from the late 70s, 1978. That also had this ambery, you know, tobacco going on, but this orangey, ambery. They all kind of have this orangey, ambery look. Like if you look at the juice, they all kind of look similar in color. And this one's a little bit more pale. But they all have this kind of animalic 80s powdery ambery thing going on, and they're all beautiful. Like if you love this style, these are the ones to hunt down. The modern Calvin Klein obsession for men, I would say just probably not even worth it. Naxos got that cheap Play-Doh note on steroids. Yes, it does. And you know what? This has some of that too, even though this is supposed to be sea breeze air. Like I can see what they mean when they say sea breeze air. There's a little bit of that, but it's kind of hidden behind that, whatever you want to call the Xerjoff note. We need a name for it. What's a name that we can give to this note? This Play-Doh sweet thing that Xerjoff just sticks in everything. I mean, I could see this appealing to somebody that was used to smelling just how sweet modern designer fragrances are. Like they wouldn't bat an eye at this. They would smell this and just continue on. You know, it would just fit right into what they're used to smelling. And it's not terrible. Like it's not as sweet, not anywhere near as sweet as something like Naxos, or what's that other one? Italica. Oh my God, Italica. Oh, that almost made me burst a blood vessel. I wore at least 5 fragrances today, but tonight I'm wearing Mancera's Red Tobacco, mostly because I commented on it recently. I will do a video on that soon, Phyllis. It deserves a video. You know, it's getting a lot of hype in the community. And I mean, it is beast mode, I'll tell you that. If you want a beast mode fragrance, man, you'll have to spray yourself off with an industrial hose to get that damn thing off your skin. Moustache Original 1949, the current remake. That's an Edmund Rudnitska, Michael, and I don't have the remake, but I have this one, and it is pretty darn good. It is the Eau de Toilette Concentrate, and I'm glad I have the Concentrate because even this is hardly strong enough for me. You know, I guess just because of the style that, you know, it's that citrus style. Chypre. I think it's considered a Chypre, but in the citrus style. So kind of like how Chanel's Pour Monsieur is considered a Chypre for men. Chanel Pour Monsieur EDT for men is considered a Chypre, and it's got that heavy citruses. This is very similar, and it's not bad. It's just not my taste. Every time I wear one of these fragrances, I'm always kind of like, yeah, I like it, but it doesn't move me. You know what I mean? I always want more. Are you sure you're not smelling 400 there? No, 40 knots. No, 40 knots. Where the hell did I put it? Maybe I just subconsciously threw it. Ah, here it is. Yeah, no, 40. I mean, unless they mixed them up, it says 40 knots. Yeah, 40 knots. It's just this generic sweetness thing that I get over and over and over in their fragrances. I don't know. I definitely would not consider this like, you know, an oceany ambergris type thing. It's not the worst thing I smelled from them, but certainly wouldn't move me. Does anyone have any experience with 40 knots? No, it says 40 knots. Yeah, no, it's definitely 40 knots. Maybe my nose is still broken. Hell, I don't know. They perfected the Xeno formula there. I love Xeno. I only have some Xerjoffs join the club fragrances as they aren't expensive as the others. These aren't expensive as the others. All time. Damn, Mike. Okay. I got to smell that one day. Mike wins the comment of the year. All right, dude, you can go home. See, actually, that's how I feel about sampling these Xerjoffs, to be honest with you. I am still getting, even after you guys are like, nah, there's no rose in there. I know that doesn't say any rose, but I am getting this like rose note amongst all of the sweetness. Yeah, it definitely doesn't smell aquatic or oceanic to me. Maybe at the very back, like when you take a breath, at the very back of, you know, at the end of the breath, there's a slight hint of something, you know, ambergris style, marine style, whatever you want to call it, watery, airy freshness. But yeah, mostly I just get this floral sweet thing. Yeah, that's how I feel. It doesn't feel like a very exclusive club that I want to be a part of. Ah, Royal Cedar. I love Royal Cedar, man. Ramsey Live. What's up, Margie? Good to have you. I do like More Than Words. I think is that in here? Did I say that? I can't even keep up with the names. There's Zefiro, Uden Overdose, More Than Words. Yeah, More Than Words is in here. And if you like that one, that's how we'll just run through it that way, fellas. Let's see. More Than Words. More Than Words. All right, let me put the ones we've done over here. Hello, Rachel. Oh, I can never remember the name of that thing. Kaflubon. How do you say it, Rachel? I need someone to come on the stream and explain to me how you say that. Rachel wrote an article for Kaflubon, and it is up. It's up on the site. You can go check it out. I will drop the link. I will post it so you can read it. I'm glad I'm actually reading this. Oh my god, it's a long URL and I can't copy and paste. Oh, hang on. Oh my god, it's really long. Here, just go to kaflobon.com and you'll be able to find it. You will be able to find Rachel's article. She is a, what did they list you as, Rachel? Let's see. Oh, the comments are lovely too. And of course, I can't find it. Guest contributor is what they listed her as. So yes, amazing article. Go check it out. She did it on Everlasting from the Zoo, which kind of looks like that, if you guys can sort of see it. But I did a video on my channel on Everlasting thanks to a sample she sent me, and I really think it's one of the best takes on labdanum I've ever smelled. It's up there with like Sahara Noir, you know, Le Lion. I mean, it's top notch tier for labdanum as far as I'm concerned. Good evening, good evening. Everyone saying hi to Margie. I learned so much from you guys in the chat. Thank you. Agreed. The chat's awesome. It's my lifeline. Ask the audience. Scent of the day, Stranger's Perfumery Plunge. I don't think I've ever smelled that. Stranger's Perfumery Plunge. No, I don't think I've smelled that, Margie. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Stranger's Perfumery Plunge. Yeah, Prin has a lot of fragrances that he drops between his Strangers brand and the Prin brand. He drops a lot of stuff. He really pumps them out. Been experimenting with spraying only on my upper chest undershirt. It wafts perfectly. It does. If you keep it under, like if you enclose fragrance under your shirt, whenever you move, you'll kind of smell it. You'll smell kind of where you'll as your body warms up. Also, you can easily kind of smell the scent that way. I just like to have it so I can keep in, you know, I can kind of see how it breaks down. So I'll usually do hands, top of the hands, wrist, stuff like that. But I know a lot of people that prefer spraying that way. Especially K. Oh, yes, you would love it. You would absolutely love it. See, that's the thing about fragrances from the past. There's so much to explore and so much to get to know. Both of these are completely unisex to me, just because they put Homme on one and you know, this was the original, I think, from 82. And this one, bottle of the year, the Pure Parfum, is this little cap, which kind of looks like sunrise, or you know, I guess other people think it may look like a fan, but I think it's like a sunrise. This is, imagine this like blown up, and that's what the Pure Parfum bottle looks like. The entire bottle is this, but in glass. It's beautiful. I think it won Bottle of the Year, and I think it was the Fragrance Foundation Award winner back then too. Yeah, their prices are not insane. Professor Boss Coty, made in Spain. Okay. I don't know about that. I've always focused on I've always tried to get the Bosses, as long as it has the stripes on the bottle and it's the old school bottle, like the one I've shown, you should be fine. But I think all the ones that I have were made in the UK, if memory serves, but I think they're all under lock and key. Yeah, I don't have any Boss #1 bottles here. Barbie head. I have all the original fragrances from Estee Venustas. They have now changed their bottles, but hopefully the fragrances are still great. Yeah, I haven't smelled anything from that brand. Red Tobacco is a freaking Frankenstein of a perfume. It smells so it almost smells unfinished. It smells like they just threw a bunch of heavy stuff together and called it a fragrance. It's huge. I've heard you talking about Arquiste Poe earlier. It's on my wish list. Is it musk heavy? Ram email, nowhere to be found. Estee Venustas is the name of L'Artisan's fragrance. Ah, interesting. You know, yeah, but in Ombre Nuit, is there not a rose note in Ombre Nuit, or am I completely losing my mind? I thought there was rose in this ambergris thing. Yes, there's a Turkish rose note in Ombre Nuit. Yes, I could see that. I have too many fragrances bouncing around in my head, but I could totally see that. Yeah, 40 knots gave me a huge rose right off of the bat. And Ombre Noir came out in 2009, and this came out in 2012. I could totally see them trying to take inspiration from something like that. That's when Bertrand or Francois Demachy was pumping out the good ones. You know, Leather Oud and Ombre Noir and Patchouli Imperial, all the good stuff I thought he did kind of early on. You have a vintage bottle of Moss Brechts. I am jealous. I am jealous, Phyllis. You know, those bottles now, like the full bottles, they go for like over $1,000 easy, which is insane because I think it's a 50 ml bottle. It's nuts. But Moss Brechts is so good. Have you ever smelled, Phyllis? I know you have an extensive collection, but maybe you don't have these masculines. Have you ever smelled Pavarotti, Luciano Pavarotti, or have you smelled the original Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette with the silver, you know, with the silver sticker that goes all the way around it? Do you find similarities to the two? I think it smells very much like Pavarotti. I don't think so, man. I really would doubt that they would mislabel. A Senza Nobile is legit. I just think I'm getting a lot of that Xerjoff molecules, whatever. We need a name. We need a name for these Xerjoff molecules that invade our nose. Isn't Edes de Venusis the line from the boutique from New York City? I never got anything particularly aquatic from 40 knots either. I don't get very much aquatic at all. Maybe, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think you're right, Scott. That's kind of how I view it as well. I don't get very much aquatic from this. Like if I was blindfolded and had no clue the brief was, you know, what do they say? Open water, marine life, glistening rays of sun, the taste of freedom. Highly unique Xerjoff. Right. I was buying their fragrances before they were perfume blogs. They are located in New York, which is not that far from where I live. Nice. It's pronounced Safflorbon. Ah, okay. All right. Thanks for that, Rachel. I'll probably forget, but for now I know. Thank you very much. There's the website. Looks like Safflorbon to me. Going to wear Aramis 900 to bed. Aramis 900 is very good, Justin. That is Justin, by the way, not Roger. Guest contributor, that's right. A beautiful article you wrote. Did you know as soon as you got the news that you were going to be able to be a guest contributor that you were going to write it on Everlasting, or did it kind of come to you over time? Greenish marine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a weird one. I like the Ombre Noir reference. Gonzalo's usually spot on, and I think he hit the nail on the head. I don't think I would have thought of that, but all I've ever really tried of Ombre Noir is a small little, you know, decant that Rich Mitch made for me. Oud Mineral, never smelled that one. Can't wait to read your article. You look hot in the picture too. Yes, congratulations indeed. Rachel making waves. They use the hot picture, Rachel's hot picture. Do those Xerjoffs drain balls like the restaurant? This one pretty much is the same as all the other ones I've tried. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting this brief or much of the notes. I think Ombre Noir's note listing is probably closer now. The conversation for Ombre Noir that everyone kind of goes back and forth on is it an amber or is it in an ambergris? And I think that it's probably closer to the ambergris side of things, which would make 40 knots and the Ombre Noir comparison makes sense because they're trying to do that, as the website says, marine life, yachting lifestyle, open water, glistening rays of sunshine. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I mean, now that, you know, every time you spray a Xerjoff, I found that the opening blast is like in your face, you know, sweet. And so now that it's starting to settle down, maybe like Scott said, kind of in the background, if you really search for it, you get some of that saltiness. But yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have Ombre Nuit, you definitely don't need this. All right, next on the list is going to be More Than Words, since Phyllis said she likes it. So we're going to do More Than Words on the right wrist. Let's put some good old sprays on here. More Than Words. Here we go, baby. Please don't be super sweet. Okay, now there's definitely a rose in this one. This is like a rose oud, but I like this. I think I like this a little bit more than 40 knots. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm starting to get a little bit of this ambergris from 40 knots, but I like More Than Words more already. It's a little bit more, you know, for 2012 when this came out, this was probably revolutionary back then. Now it's probably a lot more common. It's that Middle Eastern style rose, oud, amber thing with spices. Yeah, I'm getting some of that, you know, dried fruit combo that they always kind of try to throw in there. This is probably, you know, if you are into these Middle Eastern style fragrances, you'll probably like that. You'll probably like More Than Words. However, I will say, after sniffing Spirit of Dubai's, and, you know, the other day I tried a fragrance from a brand called Elixir, and it was called Desire or Desired, and it was a huge, you know, synthetic Middle Eastern style, last on your skin for 48 hours type of fragrance. And I feel like, you know, those have maybe put some of the people off in the community now, and this feels like it's kind of going in that direction, that just super beast mode, you know. It just feels heavily synthetic, but it's okay. I don't hate it. But it feels like, even though it's only a decade old, it feels like its time has passed. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many rose oud combos. What does More Than Words do that I don't get in the other 1,000 rose oud combos that are out there? You know, what does More Than Words do? I like the resinous aspect of it. There is a labdanum note in here, and labdanum can be a very multifaceted type of smell. It can be leathery, it can be sticky, it can be slightly animalic, and I like labdanum is one of my favorite notes of all time. And so I think it's beautiful enough that you could have it in it could be almost like a perfume in and of itself. It's extremely thick and rich, and it adds a lot of complexity to a perfume. And now that brands can't use oak moss anymore, or oak moss like they used to use back in the day to kind of affix it to your skin, labdanum can kind of work as that affixer. It can work as something that really sticks around. And it's very sticky, by the way. If you've ever held or touched real labdanum, you'll know. I mean, it's like touching super glue. And so that's kind of what this fragrance feels like. It feels like a rose oud in the front with little hints of dried fruits, but underneath it really feels like they're using that sticky labdanum to kind of stick it to the skin, which is okay. I'm okay with that. The problem is the selling point 11 years later. Is it worth what Xerjoff is asking for more than words, which I will tell you right now once I get to the Xerjoff website. Let's see. Xerjoff. Can't even spell. Xerjoff. There we go. Xerjoff Universe. Okay, let's see. More than words. More than words. The Join the Club More Than Words collection. 50 mils, 180 bucks, and 100 mils is 290. They have one bottle left. Quick, run and go buy it. Those are euros, by the way, 290 euros. And in keeping with the, okay, they're going to say that every single time. More Than Words imagines a secret club of writers and poets inspired by literature and the power of the written word. Their creativity is bound only by the paper they write on. Wow. Great brief, Xerjoff. Bravo. Bravo indeed. Antonio says, you're welcome. Thank you, sir. GMG, it's less skanky than I expected and hoped for, but there is an interesting resinous note that draws me in, so I bought a bottle. Ram, your videos have been a level up for me in my frag journey, though. Community is fortunate to have your wisdom quoted the year for me from you. The way forward in the fragrance journey is backward. That's it. That should be like tattooed on every fragrance lover's forehead. Unfortunately, it's true. It's sad, but it's true. It really is. I mean, some of this vintage stuff that I talk about is, you know, just, and I try to mix in my wearings. Like I realize if I get too much into vintage, I never want to come back to anything else. And if I start wearing, you know, too much niche, you can get kind of pulled in the rabbit hole. So my process is I'll kind of go back and forth. Like I'll wear a vintage fragrance and then I'll wear a niche and then I'll wear a designer. Then I'll wear a vintage. Then I'll wear an indie house. Then I'll wear kind of a vintage again. And I like kind of the back and forth, mixing it up. It keeps everything fresh, you know, but we're lucky because of the time that we live in. You know, we can go back and buy some of this stuff that, you know, like I know a lot of the stuff you can't really make out, but I mean, just kind of grabbing some of the stuff that's in hand, you know, just imagine in 30 or 40 years, people won't have stuff like this to go hunt down, and it won't be in good condition. Even if they find it, no matter how well it's kept, fragrance is going to deteriorate as the years kind of tick on. And, you know, and so, we're just kind of very fortunate that we can experience stuff like this. And I mean, if you're a real frag head, you will instantly be able to spot the differences in quality and time and the way they built perfumes back in the day to where now, I mean, I hate to say it, and like I said earlier, some people kind of get offended. I could see they get offended by some of the comments that they leave. And many of the times, as long as they're not being disrespectful, I leave them up, you know, but it's like they can't understand how something like this doesn't just blow me away. And it's because you have to kind of know what came before. If you've smelled stuff like Blend 30, More Than Words won't do anything for you. You know, I'm just using it as an example because I have it right at hand. But I mean, if you've smelled, name a vintage perfume that I've talked about on the channel. If you've smelled Bella Versailles, if you've smelled Wall Street, you know, if you've smelled these kind of vintage fragrances, if you've smelled Tenere by Paco Rabanne, you know, it's a completely other level. And that's the level up for me, is kind of knowing what comes before. It's like with Dessandra's when I said, go get a bottle of vintage Devon. And, you know, I've talked about vintage Devon and this is, to me, this is a masterpiece of a masculine chypre that uses green galbanum in the top. And green galbanum was like this is such a great fragrance, by the way. If you can still find these bottles, it's probably one of the best 150 bucks you can spend, you know, versus go spend half the price of your Xerjoff on this and thank me later, you know. And I think that does offend some people. They're like, oh, How dare he not like the Xerjoff? You know, it's $300. What's wrong with this guy? But the difference is I'm doing it off of a little sample, not a bottle that Xerjoff sent to me to say nice things about it. And I think that, you know, people just aren't used to hearing it. They're not used to, you know, it's a little different standard operating procedure than what they're used to hearing. And some of these people, I feel like the ones who really bought into it, it's hard to convince them that they've been fooled because they don't want to be convinced, you know. They don't want to believe that they were sold something by somebody that actually isn't as good as they claimed it was, you know. And so they just kind of go, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. And they just completely shut you down. And that's fine. I mean, you know, and some people, it's just time. Some people, they're not as enthusiastic about fragrances as we are. And they never will be. And that's fine. And, you know, everyone kind of has different levels. And everyone's level and interest in the hobby is different. And that's the great thing about fragrances. It's a big enough space where everyone can play and everyone can play in their little sandbox. And the one thing that I like to do, though, that I really pride myself on is I like to jump between all the sandboxes. I like the designer stuff. I like the indie stuff. I like the vintage stuff. I like the niche stuff. But you know, I may say some things that piss some people off in the certain sandboxes because they're not used to the other side of the coin. So much of the internet, you know, has become it's become like this echo chamber I don't know if that really describes what I'm thinking, but it kind of does. It's like this echo chamber, you know, whenever, you know, certain brands were sending out free bottles, let's say, and when you see all of these channels within a week of each other, all dropping their reviews for the same bottle of fragrance, you know that they were all sent their free bottles right around the same time. That's not happenstance. That's not a coincidence. That's because they all got their free bottles at the same time and they all rushed to go put out a video on it. You know, who's going to be first? And that's a lot of the reason why I'm late to the party on a lot of stuff is I don't really care to be first. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me to be first. And so there's just a lot. There's a lot in FragCom, but the best thing is there are little places within the bigger channels. You know, I mean, now there are some channels outside of Jeremy at 1 million subs. Most of the bigger channels are at 300,000 subscribers or something like that, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 subscribers, whatever it may be. And even the ones around 100,000 are pretty big for FragCom. But there are these little places, and I want to be one of those little places. I would love to grow to 100,000 subscribers one day, but I don't know if my content is bite-sized enough or mainstream enough to ever become that. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of have to take the next step. And then it gets into, well, I don't want to go hunt down vintage fragrances, though. That's not my thing. You know, I just want to be able to go to the store and buy it. And so it takes a different kind of mindset is the thing. But you have no idea every single day because I put my Instagram, which I only created a damn Instagram. I was proud of not having a Facebook or an Instagram for years. And I caved and created an Instagram just for this. And I get people who write me all the time because I post it in the description of every single video, and they'll send me their bottles and be like, hey man, I just got a bottle of YSL Pour Homme and I absolutely love it. And it's because of you. Thank you. And that does feel good. You know, it feels like you're opening the door to somebody to kind of walk through it and take that step. And who knows what that could turn into. So yes, but yeah, thank you, man. Sorry, I know you didn't ask for a rant, but sometimes I do ramble. It's not a simple laundry, but it's not traditionally dirty either. Yes, the vintage exploration is, I mean, the thing about vintage fragrances is that there is an absolute wall of vintage fragrances that you're going to run into. And you're going to see that no matter, even like Rich Mitch and I have been doing this for years kind of together where he'll send me stuff, I'll send him stuff, you know, we'll find stuff together. I'll hunt something that he found. He'll hunt something that I found. Like the one that I told him to go get, and I was actually shocked he didn't have it, is, and I thought he had a bottle, but it's this one. It's Jean Marc Sinan version original. And so, you know, and then there's times where he'll find something and he's like, what, you don't have that? And it's like a clear ram duck territory. We got to go get it, right? But even with years of kind of working together and hunting stuff together, there's still all of this stuff we find even today where it's like, dude, I've never even seen that before. I didn't even know that existed. And so there's just a plethora of vintage fragrances out there to find. I love spraying my collarbone too. Yes, it's a great spot. And if you turn your head, you'll get a little bit of a waft of it. Well-seasoned ram. I'll get a sample. Arquiste hasn't let me down yet, and I love their bottles. Yeah, Red Tobacco is a mess. It is a big synthetic bomb of a fragrance. I'll tell you that. $400 also has rose. Okay. Yeah. So More Than Words. It feels like More Than Words and 40 Knots both have rose, but smelling them side by side now, I'm getting much more of that. Although the fresh note that they're really putting almost smells like this synthetic woody note to my nose right now. I'm not getting the blurb on 40 Knots at all. So if anyone else feels the same, let me know. I kind of feel like I'm missing something there, but I am getting the blurb on More Than Words. That whole dried fruits, oud, labdanum, ambergris, rose, spicy notes, I am getting. But I think I like More Than Words a little bit more than 40 Knots. Yeah, it almost smells like 40 Knots almost gives me this like cardboard like feel. It's not good. I don't think I like that one. Do not ever get the new non-pinstripe Boss Number 1. It's worse reform than White Shoulders. Coral, it's like 25% Boss Number 1 and 75% water. No joking, it's that watered down. That sucks, Justin. Sorry to hear that, man. Is that the Phyllis, Duck's friend? I don't know. I don't know about that. Does anyone know? Is Commandant good? I think it was in one of my videos, Daniel. And no, I don't think it was very good. It isn't. Roger, that's what I was looking for. Someone to let me know. Yes, stay away from the non-pinstripe one, Antonio. 400 is a sweet honey rose with a bit of tobacco. 40 Knots smells just like Ombre Nuit and the dry down ambergris. Yeah, I can get the Ombre Nuit, reference to 40 Knots, but that means that there's definitely rose in there. Ombre Nuit is a huge, beautiful rose fragrance to me. I really like 40 Knots in a cool, crisp air. I did notice that 40 Knots is night and day difference when I wear it outside. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I knew right away I'm obsessed with that frag. It was between that and the Strangelove one, but the Strangelove has gotten a lot of attention lately. Yes, Strangelove has. Yes, it has. Vintage YSL Jazz, one of my favorites. I have 3 bottles of that stuff. It's so good, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Did you find the old piano key bottle, the black and white piano key bottle? Their fragrances were among the first niche fragrances I had ever tried, followed by Ineki. I don't know that one, Phyllis. Hey, Rans, perfect. Have a cold and are up at 326 here in Germany. Welcome, Krishan. Thanks for being here, brother. Good to see you in the chat for the first time. It was Safloaban. There you go. Ombre Nuit is clever perfumery, almost mathematically balanced. Do you think it's amber or ambergris, Gonzalo, or a little bit of both? More Than Knots? Yeah. More knots. More Than Words is sweet. Yes, it is. It is sweet. It is. Everything they do is sweet. I seem to be getting negative comments on the live chat for some unknown reason. I don't think anyone was saying anything negative, Phyllis. I didn't catch any negative comments about you. I think they thought you were friends with Rich Mitch. Yeah, I think they thought you were the he talks about another Phyllis, which is like a real life friend of his. So I think they were wondering if that was you. Yeah, no negative comments, Phyllis. We're family here. Lovers of opium tetra a la scala, sniff up vintage Raffine by Hubigant, and to a lesser extent, Desirade by Abussin. Wow, those are some diamonds in the rough, Amouage. I've never heard of those before. You'll have to text me later, mate. Amouage in the house. Amouage just like drops a nugget, just drops the fish food and watches all of us just fight. Sorry I was away. Yes, please don't buy the non-pinstripe Boss number 1. I have an old Boss number 1 and a couple mid-range number 1s, meaning mid-range still have the pinstripes, aren't. Yeah, but they are still worth it. Yes. Yeah, the ones with the pinstripes are still worth it. I'm not going to mention names, but for some reason, someone has been very snarky to my comments. So I'll refrain. Sorry, I didn't catch that, Phyllis. Apologies. I didn't see that. But if I see that, I'll block them for you. Don't worry. Not the brand new. Yeah, don't buy the brand new ones. Yes, Phyllis has the wrench, or Rachel has the wrench, and she will use it. Let's see your reaction to Zefiro. Luckily, it happened to be my favorite Xerjoff perfume and the least expensive price per mil. Okay, let's get some Zefiro on my skin. What are we up against here? Zefiro. Okay, here we go. Oh, God. Every time I try a new Xerjoff, I feel like I'm just like wading into dangerous waters here, you know? Zefiro. What are you supposed to be? All right, let's go Zefiro left arm. Okay. It is written, so it shall be. Oh, boy. Hey, I don't hate that. It's very musky. It's like spicy musky. Hey, that's not bad. It's like a frankincense-y, smoky, musky thing. Maybe a little bit of nutmeg, or which I did a video on nutmeg yesterday. Yeah, it's not terrible. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let me catch up on these comments and while this settles down. This is a safe, calm, comfortable space. Anyone being rude? Yes, that's right. We do. We value your presence. Phyllis is a long time collector. She sent me sent some messages, some comments on the channel. She's been collecting fragrances probably for probably longer than most of us here. She's a wealth of knowledge. I would love for her to come on and show her collection one day. I'm sure it's outrageous. Oh, my nose is starting to get stuffed up again. These Xerjoffs are giving me allergies. Good evening, Micah. Good to see you. Had old Diorissimo. How about the new formula? Anyone tried it? Ooh, new Diorissimo. That sounds dangerous, Rachel, Allie. I found this bottle maybe last year it was, in this version. I know you can't see the name very well because the camera's shite, but this version, Diorissimo, I got for like 25 bucks on Mercari. So I bet you if you look long enough, you'll see it. There's a lot of people that just don't know kind of what they have, and they'll just throw it out there from time to time. You just got to be quick. That's all. Yeah, this is not bad. Who said this was their favorite? This one's not bad. Zefiro is not bad. I don't think I'd run out and buy it, but Comme des Garçons 2-Man is beautiful. Which ones have you tried so far? We started with 40 knots, which really didn't remind me anything of oceanic vibes, although Gonzalo mentioned that 40 knots reminds him of Ombre Nuit, and I think that's a very fair assessment because I said originally I got a big rose out of it, and Ombre Nuit has a big Turkish rose note. So yeah, if you think Ombre Nuit with some ambergris type vibe, this is not bad. Although I don't think it matches the brief at all. And it's got that Xerjoff sweetness thing in the opening. And then we did More Than Words, which is even sweeter, but it's like a rose oud with some dried fruits and labdanum, like a sticky labdanum. And again, it's okay, but I don't think it would move us in 2023. It came out in 2012. So maybe in 2012, that rose oud thing was still all the rage, but today it's well past its prime. And I just sprayed Zefiro number 3. And Zefiro is like a big white musk with incense is what it smells like. I think the brand lists Elemi resin, which is, I think, kind of more of this lemony take on an incense, if you will. And I said nutmeg, but it doesn't look like there's nutmeg. It looks like there's cinnamon and cardamom. And there's carnation and iris, which not getting very much iris right now. Maybe a little bit of this spicy carnation. Maybe the spice is from the carnation, because carnation can come across as usually either being kind of very green, or it can come across as being very spicy, like a spicy carnation. And that's kind of what this one smells like. So imagine spicy carnation with cardamom and cinnamon. I'm not getting hardly any iris, though. And a base of oud, amber, frankincense, and honey. So frankincense in the base and elemi in the top. There's also a note of wine must, which is a very strange note. I don't think I've ever seen a wine must note before. And there's a Divana note. And the perfumer is Matthew Nardine of Robertet. So he's a Robertet perfumer. Interesting. I'm Hercule Poiriting in the chat right now. Wesley in the house. Woes, he tried 40 knots when I got here. Yes, 40 knots. Vintage Lancôme Climate EDT from 2003. I know you were looking for that, Allie. Congratulations. Vintage Diorissimo goes for the same prices as the new ones. Yeah, you might as well just hunt down one of these, to be honest with you. This is before all the reformulations. It's actually quite nice. It's not my kind of fragrance, but I'm glad to have it kind of for reference, if you will. Dark Night by Alexandria. I don't know that one, Wes. At the end, for me, it's all about different tastes. I've gone through a lot of vintage mostly and got rid of most except a few in the Fougere. I can completely understand that. Yeah, it is. It is taste. But you have those kind of for reference in your old scent encyclopedia, which is probably invaluable. How about the new formula? Just put another Xerjoff on. Oh, it's a scary thought. I'd rather watch an hour of you rambling than minutes of any of the shills pumping out content to be first. Thank you, Micah. That means a lot. Thank you. Like Galen said, like I said, that Galen mentioned earlier, that sometimes he feels like he doesn't have anything to say. And, you know, sometimes I feel that way too, but then I remind myself that there's very few people kind of doing what we're doing. I mean, we have a great little community here with Eugene and Rich and me. And it's, you know, I feel like we're kind of fighting the good fight. And I feel every day we're getting people that are kind of looking our way. We're getting, you know, let's say regular viewers of some of those content creator channels that are starting to turn this way. And it's going to be a slow process, I think. But channel's basically dead. It's clear brands are looking at other people over him. A brand reached out to me. Actually, I won't say who, but it's a brand new brand. I've never smelled anything from them. If I told you, you'd probably bust out laughing because they do a lot of cheaper fragrances. But they they reached out to me and said, we'd love to send you some stuff. And I said, disclaimer right off the bat, I just want you to know that I'm going to say whatever I want to say about them, good, bad, or indifferent. And so if you don't want that, do not send me anything. But yeah, send away, bring it on, baby. And if I have to tear it up, I will. I said, just skip the, $40 Aventus clones, if you will. Send me the higher end stuff. And just, I'm not going to be nice to the, boss bottled clone or whatever the hell else you're doing. But yes, that should be funny. But like I said, again, slowly but surely, it's a process. It takes time to steer an aircraft carrier, and I think brands are watching, and I think people are watching. And I think if we just stay true to who we are and what we love, that I think we're already making a difference. Just in the in people willing to try some of the vintage fragrances and realizing kind of what's going on with some of these channels, which are more advertisement than real channel. And like I said earlier, it's about the love of the fragrance. It's about the love of the fragrance game. It's about the love of fragrances. And most people I found that there's a lot of people, I think, that join Fragcom not because they love fragrances so much, but because they see it as an easy way to get a bunch of followers and be able to put out a bunch of content. If just look how many fragrances come out. I mean, it's every single day. It seems like there's 5 new fragrances. There's brands you've never heard of every single day pop up. There's, fragrances that come out. I mean, Serge Lutens just put out another fragrance. Some of these houses are putting out 20 fragrances a year. Some of them are literally putting out 20 fragrances a year from one house, from well-established houses. They're just pumping them out. And it's because they're just throwing shit against the wall. They're using the same aroma chemicals that the houses down the street use. They're just mixing them in different quantities and batches. And, there's nothing original. There's nothing new. They discontinue a fragrance and they re-release another one that smells exactly like it at double the price. They're just... it's not just Jeremy's channel that's out of ideas. It's Fragcom. It's not Fragcom. It's the fragrance world. The brands and the oil houses have put themselves in this bind where they're going more and more synthetic. So the oil houses make more and more money. There's less and less naturals in there. So it's harder and harder to make things smell different. Everything smells the same, especially nowadays. Someone wrote me a comment the other day and they were like, hey man, I'm finding that everything I'm smelling smells the same. What do I do? And I was like, stop smelling modern perfume. Go smell old stuff. Nothing smelled the same back in the day. And that's just, they're kind of painted themselves into a corner. And I think our hope lies with some of these smaller brands like Papillon, who are still doing amazing things, even with IFRA's, restrictive policies and the European Cosmetic Association or whatever the hell it's called, who they're out of their damn mind, wanting to ban bergamot or whatever the hell I heard the other day. And I'm like, people identify with their perfume. Yes, they do. You're exactly right. So they spend all of this time like trying to buy, let's say that they don't just have the $300 lying around to just go buy more than words. So they save up, right? And then they finally get a bottle and they identify with it. So if you say anything bad about it, they act like you're like cutting them. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you say anything bad about more than words? It's like, dude, you are not your perfume, buddy. I have no idea. I was just suggesting getting the vintage if that's the one you love. Yeah, I'd go for the vintage. I would go if I had a choice, Allie. Just go for the vintage. Don't go for the new one. Yep. That's it. Try as much as you can. Smell as much as you can. Smell everything. Which epic, Omar? Epic man or epic woman? Epic Man or Epic Woman? They're both amazing, Omar. Get it, indeed. Dushan's right, get it. But try to get one of the older ones that has the name on the collar at least. If you can find a non-magnetic cap version, oh, baby, you are in for a ride. But this stuff lasts all day on me. And it's an amazing fragrance. But the new one that says Epic down here, I hear is not as good, but I've never personally smelled it. So I already did some Xerjoff testing some months ago. Not really happy with them. Me neither. I'm just doing it so I can put my thoughts out there and get these samples out of the way. Like I said earlier, I'm the type of person that eats the stuff on my plate that I don't like first to knock it out. Then I can enjoy everything else. I feel like that's what I'm doing with these Xerjoff samples. This is the third full video on 6 Xerjoffs. And we did a video where there were 2 Xerjoffs thrown in there. One was Naxos. So we've been knocking out a bunch of these Xerjoff samples that Scott sent me. Both men and women are amazing indeed. Agreed. 1881 in Torino. Well, 1881's on this list, Daniel. You know, in this Zefiro from 2015, the musk in here almost smells like the musk that you would smell in like a Maurice Roussel. It smells like his style of musks. It's okay. Keep in mind, new Epic Man is quite watered down. Yep, spot on. Go for the vintage. They're a gamble. Some are still great like gold. Some are terrible like Jubilation. Epic is in the middle. Yeah. Yep. Now there's a limited edition of Jubilation. What? Hang on. I got to look this up. Pause the live stream. What is this limited edition of Jubilation you speak of? How do I find it? New collector's boxes. Oh, no. Wait, these are samples. I'm not finding it just by clicking Jubilation for Men. I'll have to come back to it. I'm not finding it, Dushan. Same juice, fancier cap. Is that what you guys were thinking for Reflection 45? That it's pretty much the same juice with a fancier cap. Honestly, I'm happy with my Reflection in Eau de Parfum, and I still have a hell of a lot of juice, so I wouldn't run out and buy it. Although I was very lucky to get a few precious drops from Shiva, who I hope wherever he is, he's well, of Interlude 53. So we'll do some testing between Interlude 53, Interlude, and Interlude Black Iris. We'll do a triple comparison video. That'll be fun. Interlude 53. It's not the same as regular Reflection Man. It's what I've heard. I've heard there's some differences. I wonder what they'll do for their 30th anniversary. I believe Ambre Nui has both classical amber notes as well as some salty ambroxan, quite high, to be honest. It looks like a simple perfume, but I've had trouble recreating it. Yeah, I thought that the ambergris note in there was very well done, very pronounced. You know, whenever I did the review on it, or my initial impression, I guess you can't review 2 ml sample, but just kind of the first time I wore it as my scent of the day, I said that I got a lot of that salty ambergris style in it. It was very good. I enjoyed it. Do you guys mean an extra release of Jubilation? Is that in the works? That's what the rumor mill says. Yeah. Very jasmine heavy. Interesting. Because Diorissimo is supposed to be a Lily of the Valley creation. So I think what ended up happening with Diorissimo is that originally, since Lily of the Valley cannot be extracted and there's no natural essence. It has to be kind of recreated using different notes in perfumery, and that's where Edmund Rudnitska's genius came in, because he succeeded in reconstructing this flower using hydroxy citronellol, they call it, which was the main aroma component of Lily of the Valley. And apparently the reconstruction was so good that a lot of perfumers think that Diorissimo is his masterpiece. Now, for me, I think Eau de Hermes is his masterpiece personally, but Diorissimo is good. It's just not my taste, if you will. It's not my kind of fragrance. So haven't tried that new Jubilation with fancy cap, but I can find it here. Full 100 ml bottle for 140 euros. Ooh, that's a bad sign, dude. That is a very bad sign, Dushan. That means that some people know that it's not good. I think the Interlude, Reflection, and Epic Extrait smell fantastic, but the prices are criminal. Yeah, I mean, the regular Eau de Parfum smelled like that. All they did was water down the regular Eau de Parfums to my nose. This is what it smells like to me, is they brought the quality of the modern Eau de Parfums down to sell the extraits at double the price. Yeah, criminal, as you say. It's BS. Just my opinion from what I've seen. Now, I haven't smelled the new Amouage Jubilation 25 or anything like that, but from what I've heard, they are very watered down. Very. So, yes, perhaps Hedione heavy. Yep. For $240 on Fragrance Buy. Wow. I didn't think Amouages were making discounters anymore. I thought that fish guy was going to try to do the Chanel strategy. Lender on a Bender, not yet the X-Ray Jubilation. I'm waiting for that one. Ooh, it's coming, I bet. Redolescence just dropped another hostage video. I mean, do a review. Oh, man. Yeah, yeah, those Dua fragrances, man. I don't know. I don't own any Dua bottles, I can tell you that. Nothing more criminal than the Amouage Atars. They aren't even Atars to begin with and are basically mid-tier pure perfume oils while being absurdly priced. That is insane. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Well, what about the old Atars? Like, someone sent me, gosh, I won't be able to remember the name without going to look. But what about the old, remember when they used to do those old Atars that are now discontinued, Woozy? All that Dua money. Yeah, just put the pallet of cash in the backyard, boys. More modern version of Diorissimo can't hold a candle to the older versions. Yeah, that seems to be the trend for almost everything. The newer ones pop up at discounters. I struggle to find white caps, though. Interesting. Wasn't much of a fan of the OG Reflection Man, but Reflection 45 sounds perfectly more manly. Interesting. Bet it was a Dua. Finding vintage niche is incredibly difficult, at least here. Yes, I know what you mean. Milano. But you know what you have going for you, GMG? There is a shitload of vintage fragrances in Italy. Italy is like a hotspot for vintage fragrances. Italy is full of, yep, exactly. Japan also, yep. Designer ones are very easy to find and cheaper compared to other countries. Nice. Have you tried the Harmonist perfumes? I have not, Steve G, but it's good to see you on the channel. I have some samples of the Harmonist, though, so we'll be doing some blind sniffing at some point. Has anyone smelled the new Avenues? Heard it's better than it's been for a long time. You mean Aventus? Oh, Aventus, yes. No, I have not. I don't. They finally upgraded the cap as well. I won't go back to Creed. They lost my faith. Unless I get an official apology, which I know will never happen. But unless Creed comes on here and says, Ramsey, I'm sorry for selling you that 2018 batch of Aventus that disappeared in 30 minutes off of your skin, I'm out. Like it or not, Ganymede was one of the more unique frags I tried when it was first released. Yes, it was. It is. But that Akigala note is way overdosed. And I know that that was on purpose, but now it's like a Queen Tom Biche, like signature, that Akigala overdose thing he does. Nothing, just usual Xerjoff disappointments. That's pretty much it. I want Ganymede, but it's at the very bottom of the to buy list. Yeah, I don't think it's full bottle worthy personally. They're doing a extra version of Ganymede very soon, so maybe hold on to your money or save up your money. It's going to be expensive. It blew my mind at first, but I got bored of it very fast. I think it overplayed the Akigala. It did, yeah. 30 knots, More Than Words, and Zefiro. All of them are kind of meh. And now they're making my nose stuffy again. One random classic suggestion, Knowing. Yes, Knowing is extremely good. I can easily recommend Knowing. It is very, very good, Raquette. 100% agree. It's an amazing Chypre. Speaking of amazing Chypres, I know that my video I put up today on La Via del Profumo will not get the views, so I'll just show you here. I hunted down a vintage bottle of Jean Patou's Sublime in Man. Let me tell you something. I got this for $35, okay? And we're talking about Xerjoffs that go for $200 or $300 that can't hold a candle to this. And that's what I'm talking about. If you know, I didn't go out looking for this, but I kind of had it on the to buy list if one ever popped up super cheap, because these are usually hundreds. And so since it was a partial with no cap, I got a great deal. And that's the kind of stuff as a vintage hunter you want to do. Just put it on the list, and if one pops up, be willing to pounce at a great price. 40 knots, $460 for a special edition of Job. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Of Juby. I will send you a photo of that new Juby. Thank you, Dushan. Limited edition bling bling cap. That's insane. They're out of their minds. They did that for a while with the with some of the old Amouages did that, but they're nuts. Rachel is kicking ass with the wrench. Don't mess with Rachel. Is it on the website? Basically $300 for a crystal cap for Juby. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Any other Lily of the Valleys I can find? Actually, I did an entire video on them, Allie. You can go check it out. It's under the Not a Top 10 Lily of the Valley. I just have an offer to buy it for 145 euros. Hasn't Takasago recently figured out how to extrate Lily? I don't know about that. That's news to me. Jusita makes a good Lily of the Valley frag. Interesting. Vintage Diorissimo can't be beat. Yeah, I mean, that's the one. Just go. You don't even have to go. Just kind of look. Go search eBay. Go search Mercari for a bottle like this. You'll find them pop up occasionally for 30 or 40 bucks. It's not the most hyped fragrance, as you can imagine. Vintage Diorella. Hermes makes a great Lily of the Valley called Muguet Porcelain. I've never smelled that one, but I know Eugene loves it. Love vintage Diorella. I'm excited about the Muguet frags to come in the future. Yes, that's right. Lily of the Valley materials are a whole family, with hydroxy citronellol being one of the first ones back in the beginning of the 90s. Parfumo saying hydroxy citronellol was constructed by Edmund Rudnitska in 1956, Gonzalo, initially. And Diorissimo came out in 1956. So yes, it goes way back, apparently before the 1900s. I'm sorry. Duh. Pardon me, sir. Pardon me. I really don't like her creation. Not for me. Don't see it as a perfume. Just some chip body spray. Van Cleef and Arpels Muguet Blanc some like a lot. Oh, I've never smelled any of those. Your pardon, sir. Do you get the menthol in More Than Words? No, but my nose is starting to clog up, so we better hurry up. That or I need to go clear my schnoz before we move on. I feel like I can't smell as well. These Xerjoffs stop me up. Is there a mute button on here? Aha, there is. All right, I don't know if that's going to hold, but we'll try it. This is the reason I was putting off these early impressions this last couple days, is because I had this congestion got to me, and it was gone all day. Now, of course, that I'm sniffing and I'm on a live, it's back. It's back. The schnoz attack is back. Yeah, Sublime is very, very good. You cannot get perfume of this quality for $36 anymore. It's gone. This type of perfume is gone. It smells so good. Oh, I can't wait to wear that. New Sunshine Reflection or Interlude. I want to add a second one to the car. I don't know. I don't know what the new versions are like, is the problem, Omar. Is vintage Diorissimo EDT better than the Parfum EDP? I have no clue. I haven't smelled the Parfum EDP. If anyone knows, leave it in the chat. I'd go with Interlude. Still packs a punch. Interlude is the blue beast. Interlude gets sweet on me. There's a lot of Apopanax in there, which is sweet myrrh. And I know what you mean. There is a sweetness to it, but it's beautiful. I never get sickly sweetness like with these Xerjoffs. I prefer in this order vintage EDT, then Parfum. Okay, good to know. Want a vintage boss number one? What do I look for on the box and bottle? Man, I've done entire videos on that, Stephs. But the original boss number one didn't actually say number one on the front of the bottle. So if you find one of the OGs, it'll just say, Boss, Hugo Boss or whatever it is, but it won't say number one on the front. And then they added the number one at some point. Just try to get one that has pinstripes on it. That's the biggest thing. If you find one where the bottle has pinstripes, you're okay. Just don't get the new one without the pinstripes. Yeah, vintage Devon is very, very good. And if you know Desandras by Les Indemodables, Eugene's brand, Les Abstraits, Eugene's brand, you'll kind of see the connection to Desandras, in my opinion. They're both amazing masculine chypres built around galbanum. They're both green masculine chypres, animalic. They strengthen the Parfum with a lot of jasmine, which enriches the fragrance but dilutes the muguet. Okay, yeah, I could see that. EDP Samsara on the way. Hopefully the sandalwood has aged well. I bet it's beautiful. I like the EDP. Have to be careful with vintage EDT because they can turn. Yes, they can. Stripes, no number one on the bottle, even older. That's it. There you go. Black iris over the original. I find the iris softens. It does. It does for sure. All right, well, all caught up. Let's spray. Actually, I'm going to take a restroom break first. So you guys take an intermission. I shall return. All right, I have returned. And actually, someone sent me a picture of that limited edition. Ali sent me a picture of the limited edition Amouage Jubilation. And let's see if it'll, whoops, bastard. See if it'll calm down here. So actually, this has been on the website for a long time. You notice there's no, God damn it. You notice there's no Jubilation on the front. So Amouage has been doing these type of limited edition bottles for a long time. I think this is an old one. That might be a way to get an older bottle of Jubilation, because no one wants to spend the extra, whatever it is, 250 or 200 bucks on a bedazzled cap. So that may be a way to get a easy older bottle of Jubilation. Dushan's going to send you one, Stephs. There you go. Friends in the community. That's right. You can peek into the RAM cabinet, see all of the goodies that are usually covered up. I'm really hitching to buy a bottle of Jules in the new. Don't buy the new one. Rich Mitch says the new one's not worth it. Try to get yourself this one. I mean, you know, I know they're harder to find, but pony up on the old one, Paroli. That's the Ram Duck advice. So good. So very good. All right, let's get number 4 on my skin. Number 4 is going to be 1888. That's the one that I think Daniel said he liked. So we're going to do 1888 on the right arm. 1888. All right, here we go. $18.88, baby. All right. Please don't be super sweet. It's like a spicy floral. I am getting some citruses, but not much. It's like mostly this spicy floral thing. Rose again. Is rose in all of our fragrances today? No, it's not in Zafiro. But there is carnation in Zefiro, but there's rose in all the other 3, it smells like. I don't really like this. Sorry, Daniel. This doesn't smell high class to me or anything like that. It just kind of smells like, at least off of the opening, and maybe because my nose is a little stuffed, but it kind of smells. I'm going to let it dry before I start. I'm going to stall for some time. Carnation, coriander, saffron, pepper, rose, neroli, ylang ylang, sandalwood, patchouli, amber, and birch. It kind of smells chemically to my nose for some reason. Almost like paint-like, you know, spicy paint with some sweetness underneath, as usual, of course. Xerjoff sweetness. Maybe it's the saffron. But yeah, these have not been winners today, I'll tell you that. But what did I expect from Xerjoff? Fraggy Net, that's right. Is it good? I'd pick a thing or 2 from there. I've only tried the vintage, but I heard it's really good. Yeah. That's the bottle. Have to check it out. I'll buy it. Dushan is the best. Yeah, Dushan's very kind. They are different fragrances, but the current is almost as great as the vintage to me. Ah, wow. That's crazy. I don't think I've heard anyone say anything good about it. I heard Rich Mitch say it's not as good. But I've never smelled it, so I can't. Not the same as the vintage, but it is lovely. Okay, well, that's good to hear. We are all just a shadow. The real sun is Amouage. It's good. Just think of it as a flanker. Nice. All right. I'm gonna have to blow the schnoz one more time. Don't go any. All right. Let's try this again. Now that my nose can breathe again, let's see how this goes. Still same. Spicy floral. I don't know. These Xerjoffs just, I don't know. I just don't think they're for me. I still have yet to find anything outside of the one bottle I ended up ponying up and buying. An older refill bottle of Xerjoff Homme. I have not found anything that moved me. I think the one that I want the most is probably a vintage bottle of Richwood, but it's, you know, there's one on eBay for like $700. That guy can fuck off with that. More civity on top and lacks the leather fond, but I enjoy it nonetheless. But Jules is a leather. How do you re-release Jules and not make it a leather? I actually have a backup of this coming. Natalia from Poland is holding it for me. There's going to be a hell of a haul coming from her in the next couple of months that she's been, you know, just building up over the last 6 months or so. Amouage is the sun. Someone said I smell like Old Spice in barbershop when they smelled it on me. No, I don't get Old Spice in barbershop, but I do get some sort of, you know, citrus profile in the top that's not listed. There's no notes listed as citruses. But there is this spicy, citrusy thing that's giving off this, I called it paint, but I don't know how I would describe this. This is a tough one to describe. I think it has some of that Xerjoff. Earlier, someone was saying this Play-Doh-y, plasticky Xerjoff thing. And there is some of that in there with some sweetness. But it's not as sweet. It's definitely not as sweet as More Than Words or I don't think it's as far away from the brief as 40 knots. Let's see what Xerjoff has to say about Pavarotti 1888. I never looked up what they had to even say about Zefiro. Let's look up Zefiro first, then we'll go to 1888. Xerjoff Zefiro. So for Zefiro, this is the one that's on the left arm. It's the spicy, smoky one with elemi and frankincense and honey. This one's not bad with the cinnamon and cardamom. The one that I said uses musks that kind of remind me of Maurice Roussel. It says, get lost in the mystery of Zefiro, our homage to Rome and its rich Baroque history, spicy and oriental in character. Rome. This intense perfume opens with top notes of bergamot, davana, and elemi. Excuse me. The nose is enticed in deeper with a complex heart of cardamom, carnation, and iris that leads to a traditional base of oud and amber, inspired by the glamour of our home country. Zefiro by Xerjoff pays homage to the inspiring heritage and unrivaled creativity of Italy. Okay, I was not expecting that. It does have the wine must, though, so I could see that, paying homage to Rome. And it's got honey of the gods, which I have no clue how that's different from regular honey. Honey of the Gods. Okay. Which gods, Xerjoff? Do be more specific. And for 1888, Xerjoff's site says Xerjoff's site for 1888. This is the one that Castle Moratti, 1888 from 2013. This was created by Karine Vincent-Spanner, interestingly enough. Wow, that's a shocker. Coriander, carnation, pepper, saffron, rose, neroli, ylang-ylang, sandalwood, patchouli, amber, and birch. I would love for that birch to come out more. Maybe in the dry down it will. A truly classic and timeless elegant 1888 Castle Moratti is a scent experience like no other. Spicy oriental in character, this perfume serves as a sensual souvenir from a bygone era and is inherently Italian in spirit. I did say Italian perfumes in spirit have to have citruses in them, to me. Opening with a fresh green pepper note. Green pepper. And precious Iranian saffron. The exotic heart of Indonesian ylang-ylang and Moroccan neroli tempts and seduces. The nose is left wanting more with a classic base of Mysore sandalwood, patchouli, and amber, an inspiring vintage scent that celebrates the ancient history of Italian perfumery. Okay. I'm biased towards mint, so that's why I like it. I don't get much mint in here. I do get some citruses that are not listed that kind of linger. And the spices and the florals. It's basically a spicy floral, I think. I would love for that birch to come out more. But I've smelled a lot of Karine Vincent-Spanner scents, and none of them smell like this. So she obviously was working on a different brief, you know. Xerjoff's briefs are obviously completely different than what she was getting at Amouage for things like Overture Man or... This is just not on that level. Yeah, these are all not moving. Turpenic. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There is a little bit of a turpentine-like aspect to it. Let me cuss at you and rage at you for not liking it. Yes, please do. That's what I'm used to, Daniel. Hydroxycitronol was the next new material that had a major impact on perfumery. Lily of the Valley flowers neither yield an essential oil upon distillation nor enfleurage. Nice. First introduced to perfumery in 1905 by the German Nolan Co. Nice. Wow. So why did it take so long for, or what did Edmund Rudnitska do that was so revolutionary with Dior Diorissimo? See, this is why I like these streams, because we can bring in this element of back and forth where, I mean, we only got on this because Ali brought up Diorissimo, and now we're on this rabbit hole tangent on hydroxycitronellol. And banned now, ain't it? I think it is banned, isn't it? Yes, the chair moves by itself. La Couche du Diable, trying to wrap my head around it. Love the first hour, but I struggle to understand what it's doing in the dry down. It's not doing anything. It's basically labdanum oud. That's it. Smoky, resinous, one of the best labdanums. Remember I said earlier that Rachel's Saflorbon article on the Zoo Everlasting is one of the best labdanum fragrances. This is one of the other ones. So my favorite labdanum fragrances are La Couche du Diable and Le Lion, Everlasting the Zoo. And this may throw some people off. This may shock some people, but Sahara Noir by Tom Ford. And actually, one of my favorite uses of saffron that, or sorry, of labdanum that no one really talks about is this little bad boy. And this may put some people off. You may thumb your noses at this, and you have every right to, but this Rochas $3,500 a bottle shit with the gold fucking flakes in it. This is one of the best labdanums I've smelled in here. But this is a shapeshifter, but I've really grown to love it. Oh my God. The flowers in here, the floral heart with that resinous labdanum. It's a Chypre, of course, because it's a Roja, but Roja's $3,500 bottle of shit that he claims is his signature scent is the other one of the best labdanums. The labdanum in here is stunning, but it's more of a Chypre style, whereas this is just pure labdanum and oud. I mean, just labdanum and oud, just leathery labdanum, resinous, smoky take on oud. And yes, it's you know, there's very little about this, but it's probably one of the best Serge Lutens releases of the last, 5 or 7 years. Sorry about the schnoz clearing. I think the vintage Esprit de Parfum of Poison by Christian Dior is the most underrated concentration formulation they ever released. I would agree with you because I think I bought your last bottle, or what you told me was your last bottle. The Esprit de Parfum is so good. It's probably the best tuberose heavy fragrance in my collection. I just have a hard time wearing this. I mean, it is, I have a hard time wearing this out is the thing. Like I wear this to bed all the time. This is the kind of thing I like to put on before bed. Stuff I won't usually wear as my scent of the day because I'd rather wear the masculines. Like this would be my scent of the day, for example. This would be my bedtime scent. Instead of the other way around. Like tonight, if I have any room left, I'll probably want to wear this Sublime to bed. This is so good. I'm telling you guys, if you're a Chypre lover and you can find one of these older bottles, this is RAM approved. All right, let me put this. I actually have a full review on this ridiculously expensive Roja, but it's grown on me. The labdanum in it is amazing, though. That's how we got on that kick because of the labdanum. All right, let me put them away. He now lives upstairs. Any Aventus 17 and newer just aren't good and aren't worth it. If you want the good stuff, you need to go 16 or older. I've got a 17 bottle that's actually still good, but my 18 bottle was terrible. One of the worst things I've ever smelled. Yes, that's right. We all need a news order soon. Restricted but not banned. Lirol and Liliol are banned from memory around mid-2010s. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's the new one that just got banned, Gonzalo? That's causing a big stink. The birch is starting to come out more of 1888. I think I'm liking the dry down much more than the opening. Yeah, now that the birch is coming out, I'm liking this more. Now it's starting to smell like a burning, spicy floral. I'm a sucker for birch, man. I love a good birch note, and that's pretty good. So while the opening had that, Rachel said terpenic, and I agree. Turpentine, paint thing. Citrus is not listed. The spicy florals didn't really move me, but the birch and the dry down that I'm getting now does. This is good. I think this is my favorite now. Yeah. I think 1888 is my favorite. But I think we have to wait half an hour or 45 minutes to get there. Jardinelle by Jean Desprez. Never smelled that one. Thinking to buy that old Chypre. There's so many amazing old Chypres for, from the good old days out there, if you know where to look. Ah, nice. She gets on with Antaeus. That's good stuff. Good night, Scott. Thanks for being here, brother. The god's pissed in the honey. Oh, see you, Rachel. Thanks for being here. Amouage, till next time. Tell us how it went indeed. Got it confused with 1861. Wait. Now you're confusing me, Daniel. No worries. Antaeus never missed. That's right. Antaeus has to stay grounded to the earth to draw its power. So that was the myth of the god Antaeus. So keep the women grounded. You liked Renaissance. Rachel represents everything good and wholesome in our community. The gold standard, agreed. Very lucky to have her with us here. Like the mint in 1861. Anyone knows if Van Cleef & Arpels Pour is coming back? No. No, don't hold your breath for that, bro. Just go get old bottles like I did. Amouage might be able to hunt you down some. There's Amouage to tell you, nope, not coming back. But maybe he can find you a bottle. A lot of what's banned is usually banned for good reason, at least in the concentration that they're banned at. Margarita burns are the reason why most citruses are synthetic or fractioned. I can see that. Fair enough, Uji. Fair enough. They think they're upper luxury brand now. Yeah, they are going in that range, aren't they? And that's why you see 0 new Van Cleef & Arpels on my shelf. I have SAR, and I have Van Cleef & Arpels Pour Homme, and I have Midnight in Paris, and that's it. And my Midnight in Paris bottle is actually kind of leaking. Yeah, it's a very slow leak. I've decanted some, but yes, that's it. I won't go anymore. I won't go with their new stuff. I mean, unless someone sends it to me, I'm not gonna hunt down their stuff. I'm not going for upper luxury version of Van Cleef & Arpels. They can. What do you think of the people BTS saying Roja isn't a perfumer? What do you think of people BTS saying Roja? What's BTS? Because people have been saying Roja isn't a perfumer for years. He isn't. Dushan says he isn't. I mean, Sylvain Delacourt popped up in this book, actually. And he quoted the fact that Sylvain Delacourt mentions that he was never a perfumer at Guerlain. He had nothing to do with the perfumes at Guerlain. He was a makeup artist at Guerlain. But perfumes are half like dreams and half product, you know what I mean? And the two have to come together. And he perfectly merged those two desires. Now, a couple people have been sending me some stuff. Like there's a full 100 ml of musk oud, like sealed, or amber oud, or I forget which one. Oud, the original Roja oud, on eBay now from a reputable source for like $360. That's like 70% off or something. That's like 60% off. I've never seen it that cheap. Because it's new at the Roja website. I think it's like $750 or something. So his fragrances are really starting to get discounted. So I'm not sure if people are catching on or they're just moving more stock. I don't know what's going on, but the prices are going down, at least at discounters. First hour is so dense, the labdanum has the almost tomato vibe to it. I love that part. I struggle to pick up the complexity in the dry down. It seems to die pretty quickly. Really? It dies quickly on your skin. Did you get a new bottle? Maybe it just needs to open up. This stuff seems to last forever to me. I don't get the tomato vibe, but I really like it. I think it's one of the best labdanums. La Couche du Diable. He meticulously developed this groundbreaking minimalistic fragrance over 4 years by smelling the lily of the valley flowers in his garden. About Rudnitska and Diorissimo. Nice. Yes, it is. No one talks about that one, by the way. I have 4 bottles of this stuff because I got it like basically clearanced for like $8 a bottle or something. And it's the Cosmere version. And it is. It looks like The Horizon bottle looks like it's an aquatic, right? And it was around that aquatic time, but there's a lot of green. I get a lot of green touches from this. Spices and greenery. It's my kind of aquatic. I'd much rather wear this than like a true aquatic. You know what I mean? So yes, I agree with you, Steps. Very good vintage. No one talks about. The transparent floral part is made up by a combo of hydroxycitronellol and lirol from the same book. Nice. Lirol. Okay. And that's what's banned now, right? Is the lirol, or heard he hires someone from Robertet to do his stuff. That's the rumor. Yeah. Yep. What's up, Abe? Leather Oud. Love Leather Oud. Another hidden gem by Jean de Perez is Sherazade. I've heard about that. I think we're going to see Sherazade more in our FragCom very soon, but not from Jean de Perez. Yeah, the video about Roja explaining his personal scent is a class of marketing. Fantastic. All the full story is perfect. He's a marketing genius. I mean, say what you want about the man, but he is a marketing genius, and people aspire to buy his fragrances, you know. In the settings, if you look at him, he's always like in this beautiful setting, statues around him and exotic paintings. He's in his $6,000, you know, Armani suit, and he's got his Louboutins on, and he's just a walking flex. He's just a walking flex. And he has that amazing British accent. He's such a great salesman. And, you know, so, and there have been some people that say if you go to his YouTube channel and you watch the videos where he's actually sitting in front of a perfumer's organ mixing things, they say, watch, he puts like this particular ingredient down and just puts it on the blotter and just smells it. And they were like, dude, if you did that with the actual ingredient, you would burn the inside of your nostrils. And he's like, I smell rose. And they're like, no way, you know. That's what some of the people in the industry told me. So yes, I think it's kind of either an inside, just well-known fact that he's kind of more like the creative director, or he actually is just somebody who never made a perfume at Guerlain, and all of a sudden he started making some of the most amazing fragrances. Take your pick. I don't know. Liliol is the one that got banned. Okay. Fishman even talked about it on Bass Notes. The Fishman. Hello, bro. What city do you live in? LA. It's pouring like hell here right now. Yeah, I heard you guys were under like a freeze warning yesterday or something. West Coast living. Me and the Ram are on the same time zone. No, I'm on Central, dude. I'm in Texas. Renaissance 1861. Okay. I'm liking this 1888, though. It's good. This is a good one. Let's get the next one on my skin, which is going to be Uden Overdose. Uden Overdose. This is going to be scary. Don't breathe. Okay, now this one is citrusy. Woo! That is a citrus blast. Uden Overdose is a citrus blast for sure. 2018. This is lemon and bergamot, ginger, coffee, tobacco flower, amber, and musk. I like what it's turning into, though. The coffee just started to come through now. At first, all I got was citruses. Now I'm getting that coffee. This is good. This is a good one. Uden Overdose 2018. Interesting. Xerjoff Uden Overdose. I like this. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, and you knew I was going to say it, Cristobal by Balenciaga. Since I have a bottle of this, I just don't think there's any need to go out and buy a bottle of Uden Overdose. But Cristobal Por Homme is very hard to find right now, and when you do find it, they want silly money, although Uden Overdose is probably silly money anyway. So let's see what the Xerjoff website has to say. 10 years after introducing Uden, one of the best sellers in the Shooting Stars collection, Xerjoff presents a powerful new version of the same perfume featuring a richer olfactive pyramid. Uden Overdose, dance upon the waves of the ocean with Uden Overdose, an enchanting fougere fragrance like no other, exuding power and strength with every note of Uden Overdose. Xerjoff. This perfume is inspired by the tempestuous sea with enticing top notes of lemon and bergamot. Why is it inspired by the sea? A dark heart of ginger, tobacco flowers, and coffee leads to a rich base note of amber and musk. Uden Overdose is presented in a crystal flacon and enthralled in a leather box embossed with a fragment of meteorite. What the fuck? They put meteorites in their fragrance. What the fuck is wrong with them? I know you got to have some vintage Mitsuko, Amouage. I have a Midnight in Paris EDT, would have gotten the EDP, but being a broke student at the time, I could only afford to buy one back then. I have the EDT too. Yeah, I would have loved to have the EDP. Behind the scenes, you are too generous, Amouage. Where can I email you, or what's the preferred method? I don't have the app, but I could download it. Download WhatsApp, dude. Hey, Jimmy, what's happening, man? Long time no see, indeed. I've been away, letting my nose recover from this stuffiness. I have a hard time with labdanum. One time my bedroom was filled with the most disgusting burnt tar smell for days that I couldn't find. Turns out my sample of Le Lion had leaked. I love it. I love labdanum, man. Honestly, I mean, between Le Lion and La Couche du Diable, these are probably two of the best. And I just showed that Roja, which is extremely overpriced, but it is very, very good. And it's really grown on me. I'm liking Uden Overdose. I am liking Uden Overdose. And it is. It's a little sweet, but it's coffee. I think it might be my favorite of the bunch so far. I'm really liking 1881's Dry Down, 1888's Dry Down, but it's reminding me a little bit of a head shop right now. That birch patchouli is kind of blending together to give me this, this birch patchouli is kind of blending together to give me this head shop, you know, like you're going to buy a water pipe. That's what the Shooting Stars collection is about. Sweetness, yeah. Yeah, it's sweet and designer. And honestly, if you can get this for the same amount of money as the Shooting Stars collection, Uden Overdose, just buy this. This is a Gerard Anthony creation. This is better. This is just better done. There's a little bit of sweetness here, but it's that older style. And I think Gerard Anthony is, you know, no offense to whoever made Uden Overdose. They don't list the perfumer, but you know, no offense to whoever made it, but yeah, there's a little bit of generic designer in both of them, to be honest. It's a joint. Hey man, let's put meteorites in our perfumes. I know, and charge them fucking 255 euros for 50 mils. What is this? A hint of meteorite shit? Did I like wake up in some strange world, some weird dream? Who told them to put meteorites in the perfume? And where are they getting all these meteorites? Well, Le Lion's one is a possessed labdanum, for what I know. The raw one is way less smoky and more molasses-like. Yes, it is. That's a good word for it, molasses. Yeah. But you still get a little bit of that in Le Lion and in La Couche du Diable. They both have little molasses qualities. I like that descriptor, GMG. That's kind of gay. That's I don't like it. I don't like meteorite fragments in my perfume. No offense. Labdanum is one of those notes like patchouli for me where I just love it and can never get enough of it. It makes me feel safe and cozy. I agree with you, Abe. I love labdanum. I'm a huge fan. No, they're all meteorite related. What? Because of the whole shooting stars thing. Get the fuck out of here. Ah, Pat, welcome, my friend. Yeah, okay. I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a really bad ploy. Like they had to get, you know, McDonald's value value meals for their kids, and they saw the prize inside, and they are kids meals. They saw the little prize inside, and they thought they should do the same. You do need to try this, Serge. I think it's at Fragrance X or fragrancebuy.ca or one of them for like 60 or 70 bucks, which is a steal for this, actually. Go check all the discounters. I think you'll find it. Oh, man. Each meteorite comes with a card of authenticity and its origin. Oh, geez. That is the... I can't wait to... I'm going to text Rich Mitch right now and tell him about this. This can't be real. I can't believe this is happening. Fucking meteorite. Hey, Rich, we're live on stream right now. Did you know that the Xerjoff Shooting Stars collection actually comes with a meteorite in each package, and it comes with a card of authenticity and its origin? By the way, you're live on stream, Rich Mitch. So can you see? Wait a minute. I want to show you the duck picture. It's not focusing. Anyways, you're on the Ram stream right now. So text whenever you wake up. Write me back and just tell me how absolutely ridiculous you think that sounds. Peace. We have to share little bits of info with each other like that. Well, of course, they're not in the fragrance, but still, I mean, what a dumb idea. Big up, Dead in the Water. Thanks for being here, man. 100 mil, yes? Fucking 100 mil? Yes? 100 mil Surge for 60 or 70 bucks. I saw it on one of the Fragrance X, Fragrance Buy, Fragrance, what's the other one? Just try fragrance.com. I think that's the one. Go to fragrance.com. I think that's the one. Will DM'd me a pic of the fucking meteorite. That is insane. Oh my God. That is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever seen. I have to send this to Rich. Rich must be involved. We need to stay together as Ram Duck to fight this insanity. This is the shit they're doing with your money. Hunting for meteorites. Balenciaga dreaming. Yes, that's right. Fragrance Dubois perfumes come with little oud chips. What? This is getting even weirder and weirder. I don't want it to come with the perfume. I want it in the damn perfume. So, Uden Overdose is kind of giving me like Dior Homme vibes, but with coffee. It's not bad. It's just, again, if you're going to spend that much money, 255 bucks, just get you a bottle of Cristobal by Balenciaga and thank me later, pour homme. Oh, shit. Just when I think Xerjoff, this is like the Dumb and Dumber moment when they're like, just when I think you can't get any dumber, you go and do something like this. Oh, but there is no totally redeeming yourself, Xerjoff. I am, all right, let's try 400. I feel dumber for learning about that fact. Meteorite. Oh. Xerjoff 400. Join the club. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Speaking of sweet, good God almighty. Oh, 400. Holy and it's on the bicep. It's like attacking my nose. Oh. First meteorites, and now this. Oh, Jesus, that's sweet. Lord, say a prayer. And they use it to supply the houses before they decided to come up with their own fragrances. I've not tried 400. Don't. Do yourself a favor and just skip 400. Act like 400 never even existed. Oh, that is, whew, that is not good. I much prefer the smell of Uden Overdose to 400. I think Uden Overdose is the winner with 1888 being the runner-up. 400 might be last on this list. Wow, it is just so candied sweetness. It's like a candied honeyed rose, but you know how Naxos has honey in it as well, but it's like super sweet, like unbearably sweet. That's how the honey in 400 smells. It is, when they say honey, they really mean sugar. It makes you long for those times when fragrances used to come in cheap box sets with pens and wallets. Oh, 100%. Those white flowers, citruses assaulting. It's just, it's like I'm smelling, you know what it's like? It's like I'm smelling a, you know, those lollipops that in the middle is like a Tootsie Roll. That's what it smells like. It smells like I'm smelling like someone that bit into it, you know, and like the hard pieces of the lollipop are mixing with that inner softer Tootsie Roll pop part. And Jesus, man, we saved the worst for last. Meteorite dipped in maple syrup. That's right. I still can't believe they put meteorites in their packaging. That is the most insane. That, I think that broke me. Like, I think I literally, like, something snapped inside of me when I heard that. The sheer just unbelievable cheesiness of it. Like, that's what I want from my fragrance company. Yes, that's actually what I've been missing all along. All my other fragrance companies that I love, you know, the old school stuff, the Chanel's and the Guerlains and the YSL's and the Lagerfelds, you know, the Balenciagas, they just weren't putting meteorites in their fragrances. That's the thing. A little prize didn't come with my perfume. I need a little prize in my perfume. Yeah, that's what I need. I need a little prize to just be able to really show how important I am. Xerjoff went and hunted me a meteorite. My life is complete. Don't actually spend the money on the perfume, Xerjoff. No, make sure you put a meteorite in each box. I'm literally angry. Italica versus 400. Ooh. Oh my God, that's a tough one. Pass. Can I just burn them both? Bathe them in holy fire? Yeah, I think I'm going to say Uden Overdose is the winner tonight. With but it smells like a coffee Dior Homme right now, like it's turned into this coffee Dior Homme. How about Eau Sauvage, Eau de Parfum. I'll take Eau Sauvage, Eau de Parfum. Yes, that's right. They went to the moon with your money. Give some of that Tootsie Pop. Oh, man. Maybe next time they can put a Tootsie Pop with each order of 400. The Meteorite. That's old. Let me see the Tootsie Pop. Yeah, it's a bad joke is really what it is. How many licks does it take to get to the middle? That's right. It's a bad joke. Amazingly lovely scent. I fell in love right away after listening to Demi Rawlings' recommendation. I had to order it right away. Review of JTC 400 from Fragrantic. Oh, that's the icing on the cake right there. That is the way to end this night right there. I fell in love right away after listening to Demi Rawlings' recommendation. The Xerjoff mascot. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Demi de God. Yes, that's right. I mean, it is funny, though. There are some videos, like I don't even know who she is, okay? So I saw some girl and she's and you know, sometimes YouTube will like recommend videos for you to watch. And of course, I get all this fragrance related content and history stuff and stuff like that. But the fragrance content, it was like some girl I've never seen before. And it's like 10 fragrances I love to smell on a man with like that drooling mouth emoji. And she's in her sports bra and she's kind of sitting there in the thumbnail. And I look, and the fucking video has like 188,000 views. 188,000 views for some girl who doesn't know anything in a sports bra because of the thumbnail. And I'm like, oh, what has Fragcom become? You know? And she put the video out like weeks ago. I want a signature of Ozzy on my Xerjoff bottle, and then they can sprinkle some meteorite. That's right. Yeah, she's hot. Obviously, she's hot, but you know, I don't know, man. The views she gets on a video are, I can't look at it. It's like, you have to be shitting me. The people just watching her just to see her. Yeah, that's why everyone that watches her, that's why they all watch her. Yeah, but everything is like that. Not only Fragcom, it's true. Get a bra for future thumbnails. I gotta work on my sexy look. As long as what's his name? As long as Mr. Smelly doesn't like crop a thumbnail of like a fucking giant eggplant emoji next to my mouth, I'll be happy. Honestly, I can't think of any that are. You know who I used to like to watch? Katie Puckrick. Katie Puckrick was a reviewer I would watch. Her old videos are still really good, and they're in bite size. They're in small little bite size nuggets. Yeah. Okay. Final assessment. Uden Overdose is #1 because I had to pick something and it has a coffee note and it reminds me a little bit of Cristobal Balenciaga. And 1888's #2. And Zefiro's #3. Everything else is shite. Life is not fair. You're spot on. Is this Demi Rawlings? Yes, it is. Yes. The only demi god in Fragcom. All you gotta do is hire some model. That's it. I need a hot assistant. It's settled. That's it. She can walk behind me like the fight girls, you know, at the boxing matches in high heels and kind of a bra and panties with a round sign. We can have like 12 innings, you know. She just walk back and forth with the sign, or numbered based on how I rate the scent. I watched Smurfy. My World of Fragrances, they're great. Smurfy, yeah, I hear good things about her, but I've never watched her before. Yes, Katie Puckrick, exactly. Smurfy's good people. Okay, I'll have to check her out. I've never watched her before. I'd watch you in a sports bra, Ram. That's it. It's happening. But instead of 188,000 views, my video will get 188 views. She's got a God knows which one. Nice. Yeah, I love Katie Puckrick's old videos. Yeah, y'all have a good night. Yeah, I'm about to bounce too. I was just yeah, I had to yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't see the difference between a Swarovski crystal and a meteorite grain, or between those and satin-lined coffrettes. Fair point, Alan. It's all on how the brands are spending the money, but Xerjoff is doing satin-lined coffins and fancy caps and bottles and a fucking meteorite. Where's the money going to the juice? Where's the money going to the quality of the juice? I mean, shit, I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's very much money left over for the juice. Stop giving me that BS and just put it in a bottle like Chanel with a stupid sticker on the front and a nice magnetic cap that actually holds the bottle, and put the money into the juice, you know? So I don't think the Shooting Stars cost more than any other line they have. Yeah, but still, it's just a dumb, ridiculous. It's a ridiculous ruse. That's all. Meteorite in your box, like a Happy Meal, like a McDonald's Happy Meal, you know? Just not what I was expecting to hear. That really, that shook me to my core. I can't wait for Rich Mitch to wake up so he can see this. So he can see this message I left him. Good God Almighty, as Chris from Scentland would say. I have a bottle of Neo. I don't think I've smelled that one yet. That's a really good citrus, right? Well, 6 more Xerjoffs in the dust. They can get moved away and we can work on some more. I think I might have enough to do a whole nother Xerjoff stream. Let me see how many I have left. We have the original Uden, and I did Uden Overdose today. That sucks. Decas. So we have Uden, Decas, and Osel, something like that. So we have three more Xerjoffs left. And then I think we're done. Stand up. Yeah, so we could do like another stream where it's like half Xerjoff and half something else. Yeah, but I don't want to pay for the presentation, you know. Degas, a good floral tobacco. Nice. I haven't smelled it. Decas. Yeah. We'll get to that one next time. Got a good deal on Decas, but promptly sold it. Interesting. This has been fun. I like trying these new things, even if it's not for me. You know what I mean? No full bottles will come of this, but you improve the Rolodex, have some great chats with you guys and all that good stuff. So, well, I have to run because I got to put the little one down for bed here in a minute with the wife. Got to be able to kiss her goodnight. So I appreciate everyone joining. Before you leave, even though I never say this every 10 minutes like some people, lick the stream on your way out, please. It helps with the genius YouTube algorithm and who they present it to. So I appreciate you all being here and participating. Love the back and forth, and I hope to be able to do another one with you guys tomorrow, where we will finally knock out the rest of the Xerjoff line. So cheers, guys. Peace out. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.